If any of you feel that, okay, well, I have not seen Swamiji in body or anything, today may be the time when we can feel his presence even more tangibly. Everyone is invited to do so that we can invite his presence even more strongly this evening. Okay, so with that, I invite everybody to stand. We will start with a prayer. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, friend, beloved God, great Gurus, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashay, Swami Shri Yukteswar Ji, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, beloved Swamiji, we humbly bow before all of you. Divine Masters, beloved Swamiji, we lay the flowers of our devotion at your feet. Receive our love, receive our devotion, receive our gratitude. Thank you for your presence, for your guidance, for giving us an example that we can follow for the entire lifetime. Please continue to guide us as we act as your channels and give your love to all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Please be seated. We will have some chanting, meditation, and we'll continue from there.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. So let's do one of Swamiji's chants, one of all of our favorite, Lord, I am thine, Prabhu मैं तुम्हारा. So let's chant out loud, invite his presence, open our hearts, and just let go. Take a moment, close your eyes. You can tense and relax. Let go of the day. Again. One more time. And gazing upwards, just connect. Let's try to draw his vibration, his presence through one of these chants that he has given us. Lord,
ఏం డాల్ పెట్టాను నేను ఆ?
Just take a moment, offer all our devotion up at the point between the eyebrows. Be thou mine, I am thine, I am thine. Make this affirmation stronger, take it deeper within.
Let's just do for a couple of minutes. I want only thee. I want only thee, Lord, thee, 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 only thee. I want only thee, I want only thee, Lord, thee, only thee. 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 Sitting up straight, let us now meditate briefly, invoking the presence of Swamiji, of our Gurus, to be with us this evening. Shanti. Well, very good evening once again, everybody. Please remember to press the record button. Yes, there we go. And I also want to wish you all a happy and blessed Swamiji's 100th birth anniversary. And this year, and today especially, is bound to really bring a lot of blessings to all of us if we really tune into it. This morning, many of us had a longer meditation in the morning, trying to again summon that presence within ourselves in meditation, which of course is the deepest way that we can do it. And today is more like a celebration that we are going to have. 5 of us, as you probably saw in the flyer, are going to share. We are trying to tie qualities of Swamiji with different stages of his earthly life as well, childhood, teenager, meetings, master, and so on. So it should be interesting, but also I think all of us who are speaking today actually got to meet Swamiji as well, which of course was one of our greatest blessings. And of course there are others who met Swamiji here as well. But we want to share a little bit of learning, a little bit of some stories from his life, and as Amit very well said, how he can still teach, guide us, and especially how he can infuse us with that same power that Master infused him, which always has been the greatest example that he has given us. So welcome everyone once again, and as you very well know, all these auspicious occasions and any occasion that we can, we start with some of Swamiji's music, so I'll invite the singers to come forward and let's sing together a few songs. The first song we are going to do is called The Secret of Laughter. And it's a wonderful song to start, and also because Swamiji expressed a quality of joy so deeply. So we wanted to start with that. Ready?
The secret of laughter lies in the laughing, not in the search for joy. It's a swallow winging on the wind, it's innocence in a boy. Lulu, 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 sunshine, sing when the rain falls, sing when your road seems strange. In the perilous seas, the lightning flash, and ride the winds of change. Loo-loo-loo-lero, loo-loo-loo-loo-lie. Joy will come to anyone whose heart has learned to fly. Loo-loo-loo-lero, loo-loo-loo-lie. Joy will come to anyone whose heart has learned to fly. Loo-loo-loo-lero, loo-loo-loo-lie. Joy will come to anyone whose heart has learned to fly. Loo-loo-loo-lero, loo-loo-loo-lie. Joy will come to anyone whose heart has learned to
Thank you, Madhukar. Next song we'll do is called Cherish This. And the third time through, if you know it, please join us along.
Is there anywhere on earth perfect freedom, sorrows learn, selfless friendship, blameless birth, cherish this, naught else has won. Is there anywhere on earth perfect freedom, sorrows done, selfless friendship, blameless birth, cherish this, naught else has won.
Join if you know.
Is there anywhere on earth perfect freedom, sorrows done, selfless friendship, blameless birth, cherish this, naught else has won.
So okay, good evening again, everybody, and again, very blessed Swamiji's birthday to all of us. In a way, it's all of our celebration, and I loved Madhukarji's wow, because that's how we feel inside. Wow, what a day, and what a blessing that we have, really. And my theme is, in fact, what he did is the first phase of Swamiji's life, the childlike simplicity, devotion, and through that, the theme you can say of joy. So I don't know, I think all of us have picked one theme. I don't know what the other speakers have touched, but mine was, I was very excited to get this because the first phase of Swamiji's life, if you have read in the New Path, we get to hear a little bit of glimpses of his consciousness. So, there's this aspect that he says that he came into this world fully formed. That itself is very interesting for us all to meditate, isn't it, as disciples? Because we are aware that he was something special from the beginning. It wasn't just that in this life he achieved this level. But what does it mean? And he actually starts telling us right away from the beginning of his life. And he gives us a few hints, which I wanted to tell a few stories of that, and then we have also been asked to tie a personal story, so I'll try to relate a little bit with that, with the theme of childlike devotion. So, what does it mean for us? It's interesting to just think about it for a moment. No, it's like all our masters, starting from Jesus all the way down the lineage, they have emphasized that this childlike simplicity of devotion is very important in our search for God. And Swamiji tells a few stories from right when he was born. So he shares, before he was born, like his mother in pregnancy used to experience a lot of joy, inward joy. And she inwardly offered a prayer to God at that time, saying, Lord, this firstborn child, I give to thee. And she felt that, bliss almost coming through that. And when he was born, he said, he had this sense right away from very young, of just kind of um, this awareness that there is something higher, right? That this earth is just a temporary exile. And he would say, like, he would experience beautiful sounds, beautiful colors. He would even, go under the table and put this blanket. They have a red Indian blanket or something, he mentions, and with lots of colors. And he would sit under that and enjoy all the rainbow colors around and imagine himself in a world which was. So, of course, he was saying, he was remembering a higher realm that he has come from, and he had a strong memory of that. And when he would go to sleep at night, he would go in to the light, and he would just his consciousness would expand into the light. And at some point, I think Swamiji said he thought that this happens to everyone. And so he was at some point surprised to hear, oh, you don't see this every night, because it was just so natural to him. But he shares about, also from his side, like it wasn't just a superficial. He was always asking the question, why? And he said that became his parents' greatest test also, because he was constantly asking why and how come and why is this. He wanted to know the truth underneath what's going on. And that's a thing that propelled him, which will other speakers will cover, which got him to master and set him on the spiritual search. But it's interesting for us just to tune in. In our sense, it's nice to also go back, if you can, ask your parents, how were you when you were children? Because we come and they say the 0 to 5, you get little hints, right, of who we have been or what are some of our consciousness that we come with. And also, just looking at Swamiji's example of this, he tells us here this childlike devotion and simplicity in children is a very important thing. Sometimes he would say in America, he would notice even then the kids grow up too fast. So they are always already ready to show how grown up they are or something. But he would say, no, let's actually go through that moment, because in that childlike simplicity that we develop things like, and this is again relatable to all of us, we develop a kind of a ability to appreciate the goodness in others. That's something he says, right? Which again, as devotees, we are aspiring to see it through the divine lens, not the personality, and get caught up in that. Or he would say also, to kind of look beyond and kind of have this bigger perspective, right? A child forgets very quickly, and it's just like, it's not a big deal, let's keep moving. And so that devotion, how do we all develop? And I was thinking about this, so that's where my story comes in. So, it was interesting. In the last year that Swamiji came to India was when I got to connect with him a little bit. I was serving in Ananda already. So then, through the grace of Guru Bhais, they let me connect with him via email. And then a few times I met him. And it was very curious because at that time, I was just out of college and I was going through a doubt, like a very strong doubt, a big karma it was. And for whatever reason, the moment I met Swamiji, I just felt so comfortable. I just brought that doubt to him. And then via email, via every time, he would bless me, and then I would again just bring it. And I couldn't just sit quietly and say yes, which a good disciple should. I was just, but, I have this doubt, help me. But it didn't even come to help me. It just started with, I have this doubt. Then he kind of held this perspective of the guru's light, right? And it was like every time I came to him with that, it was a challenge, like, well, this is what you have to do. And so I had to meet that, right? I had to raise my energy. He wasn't going to come here and say, oh, there, don't do it then. It's okay. No, this is what you have to do. And so that went on for 2-3 months. And finally, I reached the point where I said, okay, Swamiji, how do I do it? It took that much time to even come to help me. And I was thinking about this, many times after. I didn't realize all this, of course. You know how when you're in the thick of it, you just go through it and you somehow survive. And I don't know why I felt so comfortable, first of all, and why I brought that like that. But I was meditating on this like a few years after Swamiji passed. And I was just thinking, how come, it was like a disciple to see the guru, really, who we consider him. You would be like so reverential, isn't it? Like, you would be so grateful to just be. But I was just like, I wanted to tell him everything because I knew he could see. And I just wanted to say, and I wanted to say, you tell me what to do with this. And somehow, over the years, I've realized that, every time all of us are actually doing this, like every time we sit down to meditate, we're actually doing this with the guru. We all come with so much stuff, isn't it? And we just sit in front of the altar. We're like, Master, you know everything. I'm yours. And in that, we open ourselves, and then we finally reach the point, help me. And in that, he can lift us in meditation, in our practices. Otherwise, how do we even do any of these practices? No? When we go through certain karma, we sit down in front of the altar. First, we tell him, I don't want to go through this. Why do I have to go through this? Many times, I hope I'm not the only one. I see some smiles. And but you first complain, but then you reach the point where you can say, okay, help me. And then he can remove the karma. And it was very interesting because by the end, fortunately, I said, yes, I'm going to do what you're telling me. And then Swamiji left the body. And then I did do what he was guiding me to do. Until today, touch wood, and prayers to Swamiji. I like Amit's prayer in the beginning that, and please always be with us and please always guide us. That is childlike devotion, no? Please always never let me go. Until today, that karma never bothered me anymore. But it was so big at that time, no? And you have to think, how is that possible? It's like, I was just thinking, it's just this. When we get into that childlike simplicity, don't try to be more mature than you are. We are not. Sometimes we just are what we are. And the guru knows it. But you bring it there and he can actually lift it. And then you're done. Hopefully, forever. But if we don't do that, there's a part of us that's always holding on to it. And I think that's why also that's very much our vibration of the ray that Swamiji brought. Childlike devotion and simplicity. Our music, our chants, everything is so simple. The altar that they have done, so beautiful. It's so simple. It isn't some complicated, but it's uplifting, and that's part of what I think his first phase can teach us. Always stay in that simple devotion, the childlike devotion. So happy birthday to all of us. And I will now invite Amit to take us to the next phase of Swamiji's life.
Thank you, Shamini-ji. So this is the next phase of his life. And again, most of or everything pretty much that we will say is in new path, but actually is very true. Bharat came up with this idea and I started reading. I realized, well, I know these stories, but I didn't know they were right there. So 17, when he was 17, he went to the college. And then that's where he met one of his first sort of like a spiritual colleague, you may say. Rod was his name, or is his name. And Rod was 2 years senior to him. And that's where he was also a poet in heart. Swamiji was also a poet. That's what I'm. So both of them would enjoy a lot of these discussions. And then see the quality of a poet or for that an artist, and all of us are to a large extent an artist, if not by profession, artist of life. It's like they don't care much about what happens in the world. And that was certainly the characteristic overall. And invited Swamiji also to be like that. And they would discuss and whatnot. While 17, the entire year went in a lot of discussions. And he says, yeah, whole night they will have coffee and then some very high philosophical discussion will happen, either with coffee or with ice cream shake or some other spirits. But that would just continue whole night. When he became 18, he says, that's where he realized this is all fun and nice. That's one of the first important part he realized. This is good, but we need to find a way to ground it. So he took non-attachment was one of the things that Rod was very very firm about. So he said, okay, this is good. We talked enough. Let's find a way to ground it. And he gives an example also about his own reflection at that time when non-attachment. He was living in a hostel and then in the night, and all of a sudden he saw somebody is trying to come into, so he could hear. So he went, he thought this must be one of his friend and then just trying to sort of do some tricks. So I will catch him first. So he went and saw into the window. So there was nobody, but he could feel that somebody actually escaped. So he said, oh, it wasn't him. So who was he then? He was just hoping that he will just catch the friend and then just play the prank. But if it is not the friend, then another joking thought came to him, maybe somebody's actually come to hurt me. It was a casual, a light thought. So he sat. Some time went past. Again, he felt the same kind of movement. Again, he went to the window to see. Again, that someone escaped. Now he thought, actually, it's not a funny thought. Probably it is serious. Somebody actually is going to come to hurt me. And while it was a very grave thought, he said, he didn't sort of just shut the door or what did he do? Like, this time, let me find out who that is. So he decided, I will not react. I will not even go and then find into the window. So he waited. Again, he could hear that someone was approaching. He still did not respond. That someone actually now had enough courage to come to the window. He still did not respond. He could hear the hand into the window and then the window was open. He still did not respond. And to his amazement and to the worst fear that he was thinking it was a joke, the next thing he hears is a gunshot. And he just was amazed. And then again, that thing. And he's just trying to see if there is some wound on his, or there is a hole on his body or not. But thankfully, there was no hole. Nothing happened to him. And then again, that whoever that person was ran away. And after a few days, he realized it was the day of Halloween. So somebody came, one of the children, with a toy gun. So what they hit was a gunshot, but it was an empty gun. Well, Swamiji says that to tell he was very happy about himself because though it was very scary in that sense, he was not attached to the body. He said it is not a good idea to be so careless about your own preservation, but he was not attached with the body. Then I will not tell the other example where he also felt how attached he was to a certain other extents of it. 17, he sort of put a lot of gyan with him. 18, when he tried to ground it. There's another example. He says one time he had this dream. And in that dream, Shamini used the word exile. He also felt that they all were in exile, in a torture chamber. And he said in that dream, torture was a normal thing. For us, it feels like you wake up, then you get tortured. That's like you have, and then you eat, then you again get tortured, and then you eat your dinner, you get again tortured, and you finally sleep. So sleep is your break from the torture. Just we were smiling. This was like the way of life, he said, in that whole thing. And this was just, and he also says that some days were better than the others. And not the way we understand. Better is what? The torture was a little less. That was the better. And he says this was going on, and at some point, some of them realized that there's got to be a better way of existence than this regular thing. And again, it seems very funny, but again, continue with that story. So he and some of them who felt that this has to be a better way, they started contemplating, and says, okay, let's do something about this torture people. So one day they make a plan, and then they sort of go behind them and then slay them and escape that floor. And they were thinking now, after escaping, that because it was a tall building, you go down, there will be another army of tormenting people or torturers will be waiting for you, like some bigger guns and then all those. If you've seen the war movies, it is not so easy, just like 2-3 people, this army waits for you. But to his amazement, he comes down, there's nobody. Comes to the next floor, there is even nobody there. All the other floors, he said, were empty. So they were just very easily able to escape it and go. They still went all the way to the safety. And from there, they were observing what is happening on the top floor of torture chamber. And again, what he found in his amazement, that the torture was just continuing just like that. Those people, they were slain, they were back up, and then those remaining people were still living the same life. Wake up, get tortured, eat, tortured, sleep. And then he woke up at that moment, and he says, then he realized, the thought came to him, it's not that they have slain the torturers. What they have overcome is their own tendencies. Two things I would like to share personally. See, when we talk about that second story, is very, very, very relatable. And I keep saying this, another saint sometimes says, if you have problems, Shamini asked, she is not the only one who has problems. She saw pointed people smiling. If you smile, then you agree, isn't it? Every one of us have a problem, yes. So that saint says, if you have a problem, you are the problem. And that is what the realization of Swami has. But this is not just saying like, oh my goodness, I am the problem. We don't need to make ourselves so guilty about it and whatnot. It is actually a very great awakening. There is a potential now, because if the world is a problem, how many things I need to fix? If I am the problem, at least I have some capacity. At least I have a full right. Nobody is going. Bharat is going to say, no, you don't do that. It's my life, isn't it? I can fix myself. So that is what the whole purpose of it. See, we all get tormenting from time to time. And Swamiji actually goes and he finds out. He actually explains who are his tormentors, torturers. He said, fear is one of my own torturer. And this is at that time. And why? Because we see we all carry this kind of our own bag of unnecessary necessities, as we call it. And then every time, this is the way things ought to be. This is the way. And even on the last thing, many a times we go to Master. I say, Master, give him some wisdom. If Master actually speaks, he'll say, he has enough wisdom. How about you? How about you? But we want others, because even in a good sense, we want to hold on to something which we feel it's a right thing, but not in an absolute sense. Hmm? So let go of that. There is a possibility of freedom. That book, New Path, no, it is very simple, the word that Shamini used. No? I read that book. I also see my own copy. I said, like, I have put so many underlines, everything. All books I read. And I remember the thought process I went through when I was reading. I thought, this makes sense. Yes. The chamber story, the torture chambers, of course, makes sense. And the next chapter. And the next chapter. Yeah, of course. So from my perspective, I have stayed in the 17th year only. I missed the 18th part. You see, after a long time, I realized, you see, this is all. I finished the books now. What is the next thing? So what is the point of reading if none of this is I'm practicing? Hmm? It's not that I was not meditating. Yes, morning and evening. But during the day, we also make this funny thing sometimes. No, I keep telling about our friend from Palo Alto. She said, many a times my prayer is like that. I say, Divine Mother, please help. And help comes. And she said, oh, thank you for the help. I will take it forward from here. While I say that is a joking thing, you see, like many a times we finish our meditation in the morning, I realize I do the Om, and then the rest of the day happens just the way it is. Meaning we are not terrible people, not the torturer in that sense. So we are good people, our days are good. Master says, those who think me near, I will be near. Now, find out. I can find out for myself how many times I thought about him. I realized no morning and evening meditation. The in between, I'll take it forward from here. See, missing the point. Swamiji's life, 100 years he lived. It wasn't the point. He said, I want to be known as a disciple. Why? Every chapter of that book is not just about him. He wrote that so that every one of us here should be able to write those chapters, which is like, now I am there. That would be the success story of Swamiji's life also. Why he created all these things is so that each one of us could actually follow what he's saying. And in that following, that truth comes alive within ourselves. What he experienced, we all experience. As Master says, as a key, it is not what made me a master. I want you to be the master. It is very nice to get inspiration from them, all of them, but not enough to stop at the inspiration. We were talking the other day, discipleship is one day. Somebody asked Dr. Amar, and we were desperately looking for the dates. When you take that vow, we don't remember. The Americans are very particular. Say, how can you not remember? So we don't keep track of those things. But it is not a day. How can it be a day? Yes, maybe the ceremony happened on a day, but that vow has to be lived every day. In action, we pray and we continue to pray. That is our job. That is the way to ground the teaching. And in that, we will make him happy. Om Guru.
We'll now have a music break. And we are going to try something different today. And we'll have an instrumental piece ready for you, or mostly ready. So, Amit. This piece is called Mukunda. Now we'll have the choir again. Now, one time we were singing four men together in front of Swamiji in the early years, and we finished the song, and then Swamiji, Swami Nirmala and Dharmas were there, who are very good musicians, comes to them and says, "Did I write those notes?" Meaning we were in that same spirit. The song you all know, "Life is a Dream."
ambitions define. Sometimes a friend helps us ascend up from life's cares to the sky. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us to our light to draw nigh. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us to our light to draw nigh.
Namaste everyone, and wish you all a happy 100th birthday because Swamiji lives on through each one of us. And I know that I see many old friends and some new here, and the conversation often is you saw Swamiji or you didn't see Swamiji club. I don't think that distinction is true because none of us saw Master, and don't we all feel connected to Master? So it's the same way. I think it's just the chain of life and how young or old you were that you happen to see Swami in his body. And I've had two speakers before me. Their syllabus is the new path. So I'm going to talk about Swamiji meeting Master. And at a very young age of 22, and he read the autobiography of a yogi, and he took the next bus across the country, 4 days, 4 nights, and he arrives at Encinitas. And what is Swamiji expecting? That he will be Master's disciple. He said, I am so ripe. If he didn't accept me, I didn't know what would happen to me. He was so ready. And he meets Sister Gyanamata there, who very matter-of-factly asked him, so have you taken the lessons? And he said, no. So she said, first you have to take the lessons, and then we can talk about meeting Master. And Swamiji was very disappointed that, and how long was that going to take? And that's about 4.5 months at least to go through the lessons. And so he was disappointed. And then the next day he took a chance and he went to the church where Master was giving a talk. And again, he tried to get in there, and the lady who was managing his calendar said, do you have an appointment? And he was like, no. And then she said, you'll have to wait for a few. And so he said, when can I get the next appointment? Said, probably a month and a half. And Swamiji was again feeling very kind of in despair at that point of time because he was so ready and that was the right thing that had to happen. And then suddenly that lady comes and said, Master will see you next. And he meets Master. And I think that's our spiritual birth in that sense, because we are all part of that ray, that meeting. And Master said to him that I met you because Divine Mother asked me to. There are people who've come from far and wide whom I've not been able to meet, but I met you because Divine Mother asked me to. And that was a divine happening that had to happen. And so Swamiji was immediately accepted. I'm sure you've, in many satsangs, heard the many stories in between, so I wouldn't go into that. But what we really want to remember today is the attunement Swamiji had for master and a line of gurus. And that is something that he role modeled through his entire life. And there are talks in which he asks, what is attunement? No? And that's being in tune with divine consciousness. And it is so easy to fall off. The mere feeling that we have that Swamiji is not with us today is our lack of attunement, actually, if you look at it that way. I'm reminded of a story of a bunch of Ananda devotees who were once visiting India on a pilgrimage, and they happened to see a Kashmir Shaivism saint they were visiting. And so they were in a satsang with him, and so they said, how do you practice? And they talked about music as one of the aspects. So he said, could you sing a song? And they started singing. And which song did they sing? Door of my heart, open wide, will thou come, will thou come? The saint said, please stop, he is here. So I think this is something that we miss. And knowing Swamiji and how enthusiastic he was and how many of his years he spent in Pune, I'm sure he's walking around here and celebrating his birthday with all of us. So really the core message of attunement that Swamiji talked about was, he said the essence of the spiritual path is about our being able to get past our ego. And we think that, I can be humble and, I will find God immediately. You can find right now, but point is, can you get past your ego? The ego shows up every day in small and big ways. And this is the struggle of a devotee. And the day we are able to get past that, we find freedom, which is what Master promised Swami. That, the gift of attunement is freedom and merging back with God. But the battle is with the ego. And each of us, in the expressions of these teachings that we take, is a lot conditioned by the lenses from which our past comes. There is an imprint of our karma, there is an imprint of what we've taken on in this life. So Swamiji says, for instance, Dr. Lewis was his first disciple in America. And by profession, he was a dentist. And therefore, his interest was a lot about healing and the human body and how it worked. And so he looked at Master through that lens. And so when Master would say to him that we will have a huge work, which will be all around the world, and Dr. Lewis is thinking, here you are in a small rented room and you're talking about a big work. Dr. Lewis could not fathom the work that was going to happen. So similarly, we all look at all these teachings through our limited lenses. And what we really need is expansion. And the way to be more expanded in our consciousness is about living the teachings on an everyday basis. And so it is as basic as practicing our kriyas, reading the lessons, the teachings, the different scriptures, and how we live our life from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed. Can we practice that more consciously as children of great divine lineage is really what Swamiji was trying to express through all the work that he did. There was nothing more, nothing less. But that in itself is a huge battle because we are kind of hoodwinked like horses by our own limitations, our past, and therefore, I think the ask is to just ask ourselves, how would we behave if Swami was right here? What kind of thoughts would we entertain? How would we with each other? How loving and kind would we be with each other? And that's all. That is the single message that from that particular meeting that Master was trying to pass on to Swami, and that's what Swami emulated his whole life around. Swamiji said that Master was not a very direct teacher, so he was never spoon-feeding the advanced devotees. He always left a lot of things to interpretation. And therefore, in order to be able to interpret that, you probably had to notice a certain expression on his face, a certain tonality in how he said something, or when he kept quiet, or when he smiled or he didn't smile. Those were all subtle hints. And so, for us, again, it is about when we read something, how do we read beyond the words? When we listen to something, how do we listen beyond just the sounds and the tones and the different aspects of that music? There is so much joy that came through that music. And this is what Swami, at the end of the day, wanted all of us to remember, just like the chant we started with today. Master, I am thine, and you are mine. That's the essence of attunement. So let's all remember that and celebrate Swami's birthday with him today. Joy to you.
All right. So, of course, after he meets Master, a lot of things, we are condensing many things here just to try to get some lessons. And my part is about him the founding of Ananda, and not the very specific things, but some of the qualities. And I really encourage everybody to tune into that particular aspect of Swamiji's life, because back then, cameras were not so good, maybe people didn't record Swamiji as much, and so on and so forth. Maybe they didn't have the money to do it also. And so most of what we have is videos on YouTube of Swamiji's last years, basically, when he was already, in his 60s, 70s. But he started Ananda not very young also. He was in his 40s. But the amount of energy that he was bringing, that you could see he will emanate. I think some of you have seen that video of Swamiji's energization exercise where he without the shirt and in the shorts. And, I don't know how old he was then. Maybe he was 50 something, I don't know. But he looks strong, like stronger than anybody of us here, really. And also, there is a few videos on YouTube of his early years. One, he talks about renunciation, but there are many talks, recorded talks of Swamiji in the earlier years of Ananda. And you can just feel in the quality of his voice what aspect he was really bringing. Obviously, there was always the quest for attunement, devotion, and all these things. But somehow his voice seemed to carry a certain energy and will that many of us perhaps don't necessarily associate Swamiji with, because we have seen more of the sweet old man kind of thing, which of course he was not like that at all. The fun thing is that no matter his age, child, teenager, adult, elderly, he was always able to put so much energy. Again, people could barely keep up with him. Maybe have a small example of that in Dhyanaji, that, she also, many of us find it very hard to keep up with her level of energy. And Swamiji was even more than that. And he, at all times, he was able to carry this wonderful energy. But in the early years, that energy was a little different. And many people don't realize that, when he started Ananda, he actually had to raise all the money to fund the work. He will do yoga classes and meditation classes every day of the week in different cities. He will drive and raise the money. And to the point that he will say also that, even if people came and they could not pay, he will not reject anyone. He will say, okay, you can do some seva or whatever. Anything, because the main thing was first to serve Master. And then, yes, in that service, I had to be practical as well. Remember, before this, he was living in the monastery for maybe 14, 16, 17 years or something like that. So he never had to worry about these things. He was kind of new to the whole concept of going out and, putting so much will. But even after doing all that, he still will go to the property that they had, and he even did the construction himself with the people who were there. There is a story, we all know the story of the geodesic domes that they used to construct and how many fell apart and broke down. But Swamiji was there again and again and again, do it himself with the help of others, but mostly himself. And there was this story that Jyotishi tells about how in one of those times they were trying to build a dome, and after many, many hours, it just collapsed. When they were about to finish, it just collapsed. So they had to pack up for the day. And the next morning, because they were just sleeping outside in sleeping bags, Jyotish was quite close to Swamiji, and he could hear him saying something. And he was a psychologist. So yeah, I know he must be processing these great loss that he had. And, it's a normal phenomenon that people go through these things. But he was very curious. And so he started going closer to Swamiji. And what was Swamiji saying? Joy, joy, too much joy. That really, it didn't matter to him at all. He was really practicing what Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. In order to reach the emotional state, you have to be intensely active, but with Nishkam Karma. That joy that comes from acting, from knowing that you are doing your best, you are using the divine power within all of us, and then the result is up to God. And that's a very wonderful example, and that's why I will really listen to some of those talks. Just his mere voice will give you a little hint of how much energy he could carry. In fact, we hear that many people run away from Master. He also made some people run away from Swamiji. Many of his secretaries will leave because there was too many things to do. And because in face of that great energy and will and power, we had to raise our own energy. And if we are not able to do it, then, there was one time when we were here in Pune, I was blessed to be able to be a part of the small group of singers, which I didn't sing that well, but still it was a blessing that I could be part of that, because we will get to sing in front of Swamiji in different occasions. And in the public lectures, we used to sing also before the audience. And we were in Mumbai at this time. And the small group had to sing the song Cloisters. I think all of you know Cloisters. We teach it very early on when you're learning the choir, at least I teach it very early on. It's a song that the professional singers should do like this. And so we are there in front of 1,000 people in Mumbai. And we start, long ago, something is wrong. So we had to start again. And again, and again. 3-4 times we had to restart, and Swamiji was sitting there, the whole choir was behind us, and 1,000 people in front, again and again and again. Finally, we got the right note, and but it was very funny because we ended up singing the song very, very fast, so I don't know if anybody could feel the depth of the song, but anyway. But I remember Swamiji's comment after we finished that whole thing. I go, well, never say die. And I have to say, after that, a lot of my stage fright went away, right? Like that. He really helped me in that way. But that attitude, never say die. My dome may collapse 1,000 times. If I know it's the right thing, if I put the right energy, joy will always be the result, no matter what I do, whether it succeeds or doesn't succeed yet. Joy will be there, and God will be pleased. And I think from those early years of Swamiji, he tried many, many things. Many didn't succeed. He said that Ananda was more or less, I think, around 10% of what his vision was for Ananda. But look what it is. So even if we don't succeed in everything, as long as we have that consciousness, we will succeed and we will be like him, one with Master, thanks to the attunement and the joy and everything else that we put for. Now, Bhavani.
Well, thank you, dear friends. Such wonderful sharing. It's like a window opening to newer and newer vistas. And no matter how many times we hear these stories, they carry such depth of, love, of lessons, of inspiration and aspiration that it feeds into our journey. So thank you so much. We really enjoyed listening to each one. So mine is on Guru Bhakti and love, bliss, the last stage of Swamiji's life. And while I was just listening, I was just thinking, imagine being told at the age of maybe 23 or 24, all my men disciples have disappointed me and you mustn't disappoint me. I cannot even, emulate that, far from it. But imagine being left with that commission at such a young age. And many times it's not that he heard words of encouragement from Master every day. We all just heard from the various stories how Master was quiet. He taught by inner attunement, by inner communion, and not by spoon feeding, as Lata was saying. But towards the end of Master's life, he told Swamiji, I want you to know that you have pleased me very much. Some of my early days in Ananda are filled with remembrances of a wonderful adventure. Weekdays, we would be at work. I was working at that time. And weekends, we would look forward to setting up, the news of Swami Kriyananda is arriving, sometimes from Assisi, sometimes from America. And we would get busy with setting up preparation, cleaning, dusting, planting gardens. And it was joy. And I remember once we were cleaning Swamiji's house, and we saw a couple of us, we sauntered into a room which was so still. We looked around and we saw the altar and we realized this is Swamiji's meditation room. Instant stillness. It was like the word of God. Now, my powers of hearing were not at all good and still are developing. I couldn't hear any om booming in the room, but I'm sure somebody with a developed sensitivity could hear. But that was an experience of God, the word of God, alive, vibrating, dynamic. And from a whirlwind of activity outside that room to this moment of instant stillness where we just immediately had to close eyes and just be grateful and experience, oh, this is what God feels like, And with deep respect, reverence, thank you, Swamiji. But I remember those times when we would be on our way to the ashram to set up. It would be the time of September, October. And, the roadside would be filled with flowers. It was as though nature itself was in adornment of, this royal coming of her son. And we used to enjoy that beauty in nature too. It's as though everything around in the environment also shifted to just, a new level of upliftment and grace. And some of those memories are very precious. I want to share now, at that time in my life, I was locked up in a lot of shyness. I never asked for any meeting with Swamiji. Sometimes his assistant would come to me and ask me, would you like a meeting with Swamiji? And I would say, he was always, his health was failing. His calendar was always full. And I would say, he's already giving a lot by coming all the way from America to India. So, and I would refuse it all the time. So some of my experiences of Swamiji were in dreams. And I remember this one dream, two especially, a few more, but two especially I want to share. One is I remember he was giving a talk, and towards the end of his life, he would mostly do Q&As with people. And so we would submit our questions in advance, and there would be somebody asking questions to Swamiji. And so I had also submitted a question. And he answered a number of questions, and when it came, the person read out this question, and he wanted to know who. So whoever had asked the question had to stand up. And I remember my name was Blazy at that time. When he called that name, it was such indescribable sweetness. I just felt that sweetness of spirit in the way he called the name. I haven't yet forgot it, how he called the name. And he called my name, he read the question, and then he began to answer. And in like Wayne, in one of the dreams, Swamiji, he had his eyes were filled with tears, and he was looking at me. And even today, I wonder why was his eyes filled with tears. But let's keep that aside. But very soon, he turns behind to a bookshelf near him, and he asked me, Blazy, have you read this book? And even as he is turning to the bookshelf, I was like, I hope he will pick up a book that I have read so I can say, yes, I've read it. And he picks up a book that I haven't read. And I said, no, Swamiji, but I'll read it. And he says, let me buy this for all of you. I said, no, Swamiji, please, we will buy it and we will read it. But that the books that he wrote has the vibration of Om, the presence of God, and it was very dear to him. Why did he write those books? It was his way of sharing Master's presence with the generations to come. And every time he wrote something, he would take a page, bring it to the audience, read, would like to hear some feedback from people. And I want to urge every one of us here, this is an age where many of us are, turning away from books because we don't have the time. And like when somebody said to Swamiji, oh, Swamiji, I didn't have the time to read the book. And he said, I have the time to write them, but you don't have the time to read them. So I would really urge, it's the word of God between those pages. And Master is speaking to us through each one of those pages, each one of those books. So do if you don't have some in your collection, please, get them. Swamiji says, the purpose of my life has been to bring divine bliss to everyone. And that is the cause I live for till my last breath. And how did he bring us divine bliss? Through attunement, as Lata was saying, through service. Master told him, your life is one of intense activity and meditation. And Swamiji said, much as I wanted to meditate more, I noticed that he put meditation second. And it was intense activity that was the primary thing for him. His love was to be an hermit. Imagine if Swamiji fulfilled his own desires and went on to, become a hermit. Where would the work be? But Guru Bhakti, unconditional love, unconditional obedience that Swamiji brought to his Guru, every one of any personal desire that was left in his desires to find God and to share him with everyone, every one of those was surrendered at the feet of Master. And what happened in the process? In the early 90s, he began to say, I do not know where Kriyananda ends and Yogananda begins. And that is the power of Guru Seva. One day, Master tells Swamiji, why don't you use your meditations to write magazine articles? And Swamiji tells Master, but sir, that would interfere with my meditations. And the Master tells him very firmly, living for God is martyrdom. Meditate less. To have that faith and that unconditional surrender to what the Guru is asking, that is the highway to freedom. That is the highway to the infinite. And what a blessing this life is that we have such a rare example before us. when I came to the path, and as we are all growing in this path, I'm not given to deep feelings and hearing and visualizing and so on and so forth, but intuitively I was given to know that here is a man of God. I didn't know how to relate to him in his presence. I remember there was one evening when Swamiji was reading P.G. Wodehouse, and I was such a tiresome intellectual at that time. I remember going there, we went to everything that Swamiji did, and we are sitting there and everybody is enjoying Swamiji's presence, his reading of the P.G. Wodehouse story. And I'm thinking, now what has P.G. Wodehouse got to do with the spiritual path? It took me a long time. I kept asking that to myself, but by the end of the session, I realized, well, maybe it was to just be in his presence, the intellect limits the power of love, and it changes the direction of the flow of that power of love. And it is the heart of the path, developing divine love. And it's the heart of everything else, the heart of all the other aspects of God: wisdom, light, peace, joy. At the heart of it is love. And I remember he was offering the Naya Swami vow ceremony in Pune. And we all walked into the room. Swamiji was in so much bliss during that time. He was not able to talk, but he still spoke about renunciation for the new age for 1 hour and then blessed everybody. And he said, Master is very pleased with all of you. To have such a living channel in our midst and to find ourselves in the company of such a great saint. Imagine the infinite love of the Guru, of the masters that have time and again brought us that pristine gift of spirit. And we want to remember, honor, revere, like Sister Gyana Mata would say, with deep reverence, love, devotion. Oh, not enough. Not enough. So everything that Swamiji did, his life was a living example of how Master did it through him. That is the practice of Kriya. It's not only a technique of pranayam when we sit for meditation. The ability to channel or to redirect the power of each personal desire according to the will of the Guru is a practice of a Kriya Pranayam. And that is the practice of Kriya. And that was the life of Kriyananda, joy through the practice of Kriya, joy through the practice of self-offering, to become that who we truly are. It's a great gift we have, friends. And as we celebrate the 100th year of Swamiji today, let us resolve to practice Kriya every day, with every breath, in everything we do in life, whether it is our work, whether we are at home, whether we are conversing with a friend. We strive. We may fail, it does not matter. Get up and try again. But try, never say die. Who said it? You said it. Never say die. Just keep trying again and again till we find freedom. There is one last story I wanted to share, and that is slipping my mind now. I'll close with this. Towards the end of his life, Swamiji said, after this life passes, when I find myself in the presence of Master, and when Master asks me, have you loved me? I said, I want to be able to say, you are all I've ever loved. Isn't that a beautiful thought? And it is through that love we will truly learn how to love in this world. I want to leave us with that thought and with the thought of Sister Gyana Mata. Not enough of gratitude and love can ever make us worthy of the love of our masters and of Swamiji's discipleship. Let's be good disciples, and let that be our prayer to Swamiji and to the masters. Om.
Thank you to all the speakers and listeners. We just listened to Swamiji singing for a few minutes, just 2-3 minutes. And then we have Arti and blessing and other things. And we'll listen to an excerpt from Swamiji himself also after that. So let's just close our eyes and just for 3 minutes. Love is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, and life again. Love is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, and life again. Too long I did stray, long lifetimes away, imagined you did not care. I know now your smile was mine all the while. I listened and love was there. I can't breathe for love. All the stars above call to me, come home. Life's waves all end in foam. Only love can heal all the pain I feel. What a fool was I to turn away. So now stand for Arti. Maybe we can also. And after Arti, 4 of us will be here for blessing. So you can come first for blessing, then you can offer flowers. You can take one of these beautiful remembering cards for Swamiji's centennial, and today the cabinet is open with some of his relics. So don't take them, just touch them. And enjoy also that magnetism that they possess. And of course, this wonderful collection of pictures of Swamiji in different times of his life. So, but first we'll have Arti.
Beloved Jesus Christ, our beloved Jesus
as the evening draws to a close, let's just now, of course, invite Swamiji in our hearts, that as he was said earlier very much, he's still very much alive within all of us. And in that spirit, let us listen to few words by him and feel that he's right there speaking to all of us directly.
Somehow, with the right attitude, everything's come out all right. And as I look at all these communities and all these hundreds and hundreds of people and thousands of people following, I think, well, at any rate, I can feel good about it. And I do. I am so grateful that so many of you have come. I believe that when we die, and we have to leave all those whom we loved behind, and we'll never be in this body again, and we'll never be able to enjoy this life again as we've known it, and do all the things and be in all the places we've been before. Yet I believe there is a string that ties us to everybody we have loved. Everybody we've hated too, but I don't hate anybody, but I have loved people. I love everybody. I love God in them. And those who respond to that love, I believe there is a tie between us. And I believe that you have been brought here, many of you, because you've been with me before. And I think that perhaps in the other world we created a community together and are trying to recreate in this world what we knew then. Master said that when people create beautiful things in this world, whether it be in painting or music or anything, it's because of their astral memories, their desire to create a perfection they've already known, but lost because they weren't yet perfect themselves. And so they had to go through this. But that world is a little bit of a taste of what we can know eventually and be one with for eternity. But we are together because we've done this together. And this is why I've had the good fortune and the good karma to be able to draw so many people, because we've done it before. It's a fascinating thought. If I have to come back, it will only be with this purpose of helping. There's nothing that draws me here otherwise. People think, well, don't you feel happy that you've done this and done that and done the other thing? I am glad that I did it for God. I'm glad that people have been helped by it. But other than that, I don't think of anything as mine. I've mentioned to some of you the experience I had many years ago. I was walking up into Upper Ayodhya and I saw the lights all in these trailers. We didn't have buildings at that time yet, except I had a little dome down below. And the thought came to my mind, I did this. Then I thought, well, do I like that thought? I decided, well, not very much. It's pleasant, but it's very limiting. I did this, that means I didn't do anything else. I did this? Bunch of stupid trailers? No. I'm kidding. That's not what I was thinking. But, but I did feel, I don't like the thought, I did it. For my own happiness, I'm much happier thinking God did it. And that's the last time that thought has ever come to me. And who is me? If there's a little chink through which the divine light can pour, then wonderful, I'm grateful for it. But nothing else matters. Let us all try to serve him in such a way that we can be his instruments of his love and his light and joy, because that's all we are anyway. What makes us different from the beetles and the ants? That we're more conscious. And the fact that we're more conscious means we can be even more conscious. And we see some people have a lot of consciousness and some have very little. So it shows that this little brain isn't the whole thing. The brain can become an instrument for a greater and greater and greater consciousness. How high can that consciousness be? I say, seek the heights. Go for broke, you might say. Go till the back of that ego is broken and you understand that he is everything. It's he who dreamed. It's an inconceivable dream we're living in. And the difference between this dream and other kinds of dreams is simply that when you dream at night, you wake up, you come back to the same world. But when he dreams, when you go back to your dream, it's a different dream. This world is his dream. It's always the same dream until you die, and then the dream changes. But it's all his dream, really. He dreamed it all. It's his thought. You were his thought. He dreamed you into existence. And if you can just get rid of that thought of being anything separate from him, you will find that the more you have of that thought, the more joyful life becomes, the more fulfilling and the more complete. We were born for that one purpose.
Let's all stand now and conclude by sharing the light, the blessings of all the great masters with the entire world, especially this day. May the blessings flow everywhere, uplifting hearts in the entire globe. Divine Mother, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion. And may we be able to awaken thy love in all hearts. Beloved Swamiji, we thank you again and again for the gift of your life, a life in God, a life of service and devotion, a life of joy. Help us that we too may be in this joy, forever one with our masters. Om. Thank you everyone so much for spending this wonderful evening together, and let's carry these vibrations to the rest of the day and as much as we can throughout the year.
Correct. Yeah, please have a seat. We will have a satsang after satsang now. No. Only one very important announcement I want to make, which is, as she said, you're talking about Hyderabad. And the 31st. Correct. Okay. But I will make my announcement first, which is what today is the centennial. Today is the 100th birth anniversary, but the celebration of that will happen. Some of us are going to Ananda village and we will participate in that. I think the link to register for that, it will be broadcasted online as well. And all of you, whoever can join, time will be a little different, but please make this is a golden opportunity. But when Jyotishin Deviji will be in India, there will be an Indian version of the centennial also, which is going to happen in Hyderabad. This will be clubbed with the SRW Spiritual Renewal Week, happen from October 1st to 4th. And we will post that link, that message today after this thing, after the satsang is over. So I highly encourage everyone here online to register today itself. It will be a very special time. And again, like this evening is beautiful. If you think this evening was beautiful, we'll have 3-4 days like this. And something which has to be experienced, nothing can be talked much about. But please make it the point. Me and Anandita, we are going to register for it today. So we invite everybody to make it a point to do that. For those who are here in Pune, super simple. There is a Shatabdi or what particular train. So it's much easier to reach there now. So please make it a point. 1st October to 4th October. In Hyderabad. Yeah. And 2 more announcements.
This coming Thursday, there is also going to be an online satsang. Now you heard from the juniors, you could say. But that will have Swami Dhyana, Nitai, and Devarshi Shankara and Dharmarajanji sharing with us some of their time with Swamiji as well. And I'm not entirely sure what they'll speak about, but it's going to be really joyful for all of us to keep celebrating. So this link will be shared as well. And then another announcement that is maybe a little more personal. On 31st, not this Sunday, the Sunday after, actually, some of our good friends from Delhi are coming, and we are going to have a concert of Ananda music here at the center in lieu of the Sunday Satsang. So of course more information will happen, but if you enjoy the music, there'll be more music and many more songs. And it's again one of those things that you had to experience in person. Like it's going to be really wonderful. So I really want to invite you for that. Om Guru. Is there prasad? I'm sure there is. Okay. Yeah. Let's cut the cake. You cannot live without at least having some cake. Okay. Om Guru. Thank you. Om Swami.